The singer and his admirers. Dark was the night and weird the atmosphere. It rained from time to time. Gusts of wind shook the nearby forest. Between thunderclaps and moaning of jackals could be heard the ghostly laughter of spirits. But King Vikramaditya did not divert a bit. He climbed the ancient tree once again and brought the corpse down. However, as soon as he began crossing the desolate cremation ground with the corpse lying on his shoulder, the Betala that possessed the corpse said, "O king, your conduct is confusing. Instead of enjoying a sound sleep in your luxurious palace, why should you indulge in this ritual at such an unearthly hour? Has anybody cast a spell on you and are you acting under it as did Murlidhar the singer? Well, let me tell you his story in order to explain the point I am trying to make." The Betala went on. In the hilly frontiers of the kingdom of Shripur lived Murlidhar. He would sit on a slab of stone in the middle of green trees or take position beside a brook and keep singing for hours at a stretch. Any person passing by would stop and listen to him with rapt attention. Even the birds would stop chattering or flapping their wings. Woodcutters saw even wild animals moving closer to him and lazing around him as if in a trance. A report of Murlidhar's genius reached the king's ears. He sent his minister to Murlidhar with a request that he should become a musician at his court. But Murlidhar explained to the minister, "My problem is I cannot sing when asked to do so. Mood and song come to me spontaneously." "But Murlidhar, is it proper to disregard the king's wish?" asked the minister. Murlidhar thought for a moment. "Very well, sir. I shall visit the court and sing for an hour only. Kindly do not ask me to remain there permanently as the court singer," he pleaded. "Call it a success or failure." The minister reported all about his mission to the king. "Let us fix a date when he will perform in the court. It should be in the morning, so that he reaches the palace on the previous day and stays as our guest. My wise minister provide him with all the comforts he can dream of and the best food from the royal kitchen. Once he has sampled the kind of life he will live here, I am sure he will agree to become our court singer," said the king. Arrangements were made accordingly. Murlidhar was received personally by the king. He was given the best suite in the royal guest house with a dozen servants at his beck and call. He sang in the court in the morning, seated on a carpet knit with gold thread. Damsels stood fanning him. Fragrant water was sprinkled on him and his audience. All sat charmed listening to him, but he stopped after an hour and nobody could persuade him to sing any longer. The king gave him a handsome reward. "Murlidhar, since you sang for an hour at the king's court, why not also sing at my daughter's wedding?" his landlord, a nobleman, asked him. Murlidhar obliged the landlord. Thereafter, it became a matter of competition among the noblemen of the kingdom to invite Murlidhar and make him sing. Murlidhar did not disappoint anybody, but nowhere did he sing for more than an hour. One of the noblemen, a powerful feudal lord, announced that if anybody could make Murlidhar sing for more than an hour, he would be rewarded with 1,000 gold coins. Several noblemen, tempted by the offer, tried their best to make Murlidhar sing for a bit longer, but they never succeeded. One day, while returning from a nobleman's house, Murlidhar sat down under a banyan tree in front of a temple. Two persons who sat on the other side of the tree were arguing between themselves about Murlidhar's refusal to sing for more than an hour in anybody's house. One of the two was sure that Murlidhar was arrogant. The other asserted that Murlidhar did so in obedience to some higher principle. The first man also insisted that Murlidhar was proud. That is why he sang only in the houses of noblemen. Their argument remained inconclusive. The first man went away. The second man suddenly saw Murlidhar and bowed to him. Joy and surprise was writ large on his face. "Sir, you look tired. My house is nearby. Why not rest for a while?" proposed the man. Murlidhar looked at the man. His face was quite familiar. "Have we met earlier?" Murlidhar asked the man. "What is your name?" "I never miss an opportunity to listen to you. I am always present in your audiences," said the man. My name is Chandrakant. Murlidhar remembered having seen the man again and again. Murlidhar followed Chandrakant to his house. It was a beautiful place. In front of Chandrakant's hut there was a garden. Beyond that was a forest. It was late in the afternoon and a rainbow spanned the sky. Chandrakant's wife brought some fruits and honeyed milk for his guest, and his sons and daughters prostrated before him. Murlidhar's heart was filled with joy and peace. Can I sing for a while? He asked Chandrakant. Tears welling in his eyes, Chandrakant said, What great boon can this poor man's family expect? Murlidhar began singing. He did not stop as usual after 1 hour, not even after 2 hours. He sang for 3 hours at a stretch. 100 villagers had quietly gathered there, but they stood or sat in perfect silence without coming very close to the singer. His singing over, he stood up. Only then did he grow conscious of the fact that he had sung for a long time. I will see to it that you receive the reward which a landlord has announced, he said, and he proved true to his promise. The Betala paused and then spoke out suddenly. O king, why did Murlidhar sing for 3 hours at Chandrakant's house, whereas he sang only for an hour at other places where people who appreciated good music had gathered? Why was he keen that Chandrakant received the reward? Was it because he felt flattered? Answer me if you can. Should you keep mum despite your knowledge of the answer, your head would roll off your neck. Answered King Vikram instantly. Murlidhar sang only when inspired. What inspired him was nature or tranquility. Secondly, a gifted singer looks forward to listeners who are really lovers of music. At Chandrakant's house, he met with both these conditions. For Chandrakant was evidently a great lover of his talent. At the royal court, the king was more interested in tempting him to accept his offer than in enjoying his music. Different noblemen invited him by a spirit of competition among themselves, not out of love for music. But it was so different with Chandrakant. If flattery could have inspired Murlidhar, then he would have been very pleased with the king and the noblemen. They knew how to flatter him. Chandrakant did nothing to flatter him. Murlidhar became conscious of having sung for more than an hour only after he had finished singing. Since a reward had been announced, there was no reason why it should not go to a great lover of music who was a poor man. No sooner had the king concluded his answer than the Betala, along with the corpse, gave him the slip. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Do provide your feedback in the comment section below. Thanks for listening.